Welcome friends to another r/malicious compliance video. Today we've got some stories all about wasting some time, but first, a story from the Flex Max. I'm not the one to tell people how to spend their money. Some background, I work in a home parts store for washing machines, ovens, showers, all that kind of thing. So we know quite well the operation of all these devices, and we usually stop to explain and solve all the doubts that a client who cannot or does not want to hire a gas operator has. And in general, they're usually grateful. Many times they come looking for a piece that, despite being worth some money, are not inaccessible, but we go from crisis to crisis. So most are very grateful when we test the device and it works, but it's not always like that. In this case, it's a person who came to change the thermostat and the resistance of a hot water tank. As usual, we test everything, and despite not being in the best conditions due to scale, a problem we have with the water where I live, everything works fine. But this person insists that there's a problem with his water heater when we're showing him that clearly both parts work perfectly. He does not care. He insists that we sell him the new parts, and I will not be the one to stop to tell people how to spend their money. I tell them the price would be around 18,000 pesos, about $200 USD, and even though this is the most expensive, they swipe their card and pay it. Not even 2 hours pass before he comes back demanding that we return their money because what we sold him clearly does not work. We're surprised, so we tested it and it works perfectly. So we flatly refuse to return the money. In all cases where the error is ours, we return the money. He retires furiously and never returns. It's an anticlimactic ending, but that's what happened. In the end, he lost a crap ton of money for not giving a crap about good advice. I kind of like the phrasing, just retires furiously instead of like giving up in a storm. The idea that somebody's so far over their head in an argument that they're just like, forget it, I retire. Depending on how old you are, maybe that's a possibility. I think it's safe to say that even if you know how to get people some deals, if they immediately come in and start treating you like crap, you're not going to go out of your way to try to make their experience any better than it has to be, right? Or would you still try and show them a few tips and tricks to save some money? Should there be a jerk tax? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Our next story is from Snoo Hobbies 3488. Do I smell bacon? Back in the 70s, I was a teenager and working the graveyard shift as a fry cook in an all-night diner. I'd been pals with the old night manager, but when a new one replaced him, we didn't hit it off. I resented that he had replaced the old boss I liked, and he resented that I was an arrogant smart butt. It was an open kitchen, picture a Denny's. That evening it was hot in the kitchen, so I cranked up the ventilation. But the night manager said this made it too drafty out front, and told me to turn down the fans. I argued with him, and he repeated the order. I kept arguing until finally he said, I'm in charge here, not you. Now just turn off the darn fans. Then he stormed off to do something in his office. Like I said, I was an arrogant smart butt, so I turned off the ventilation entirely. And then I cooked up a pound of bacon on the grill. I may have overcooked it a little. It was very late at night, and there were only 1 or 2 customers drinking coffee at the counter. By the time the manager returned to the dining room, there was so much smoke it was hard to see. But a rich, inviting bacon aroma permeated the dining room. Got fired for that one. Had a new job the next day. In those days, we had an expression, oh well, I was looking for a job when I found this one. Honestly, not gonna lie, but I kind of understand why both the restaurant's bleeding workers and why OP doesn't have a job at the end of the story. I mean, both sides probably treated each other just about as fairly, but I don't really know if there were any winners in the end of the story. Our next story is from FKN Stress RXN. Ice is cold, but sometimes malicious compliance isn't. Maybe not truly malicious, but y'all probably need something wholesome. When I was a teenager, I worked at a certain fast food restaurant known for customer service. I used to work the drive-thru. I was the voice in the box, while also prepping drinks for the window. We would have people come through with all kinds of requests and grievances. One day, I was taking a woman's order and she adds a bottle of water. The last time I ordered a bottle of water, it was warm, so please make sure you give me one that is cold this time. We keep the bottles in a fridge, but they get stocked from room temp, so I guess she got one that was recently stocked the last time. The lady is really upset about this and reminds me a few more times to make sure it's cold. Being a teen, I'm mildly amused with myself when I decide to most certainly make sure her water is cold. I grab one of our extra large cups, fill it with ice, and stuff the water bottle right in the middle. My coworker at the window gives me a weird look, but I tell her to just go along with it. Lady comes to the window, and my coworker hands her the cup ice bottle contraption. I'm feeling slightly smug until the lady starts ranting and raving about how this is customer service and how happy she is to know it will most certainly be cold, etc., etc. She even ended up submitting feedback to the store about how great it was. At the end of the day, I'm happy she got her cold water, even if it was in the most ridiculous way. I'm sure this is probably just a personal thing, but like, if you're going out to a restaurant or you're going out to fast food and you buy a drink, does anybody else feel like it's a waste if you get water? Like, if I'm in that situation, if I order a water bottle, I feel bad because I feel like I overpaid for a bottle of water when I could have at least gotten something that isn't just water. Is that just me? Is that weird? This next story is from Lost Hippie 311420, graphic designer overworked, and follow directions. I've been a graphic designer for 10 plus years, and I started working for this calendar company. For the area, I made decent money, but I worked like 70 hours a week. Some days sleeping at the office in an empty office. When I started, they had issues where they kept screwing up. Come to find out, the owner shoves things through without proper oversight. I was doing the job of 3 people. After asking for help for 3 weeks, he finally hired someone. The guy he hired had never even seen a Mac computer until he was in the office. Had no idea what Photoshop was. Well, everything we do is computer work, and he had no experience on a computer. He said he heard of Illustrator. Come the compliance. Boss comes in one morning and says a job has to be printed and sent out to make it to an event. I said, okay, give me the folder. The folder had everything about the jobs, all the sponsors, and any info I need to have on it. Well, he said just use the example we sent out 4 weeks ago. He had sent the job back to sales to get more sponsors. I print out a quick copy so I can check everything. He checks it and then tells me to print 250. That makes 500 calendars. I print them all off and go grab lunch and come back. I just grabbed it, was going to eat while I did some stuff. Get back from lunch and the boss is in the office crying, saying we screwed up and the job was all wrong. After some back and forth, he admits to him screwing up, but he has to fire me since it's over $1,000 worth of product. I get up in a rush and start packing up my stuff and haul butt out of there. As I'm walking out, I tell him I was about to quit anyway. Cue the best karma ever. I get everything in the car and I'm not even out of the parking lot, and said ex-boss is blowing up my phone. He found out that the guy he hired can't do crap. He wanted me to come back for $7 an hour, and if I didn't mess up, I'd get $11 an hour. I informed him that he just fired me for his screw up, so where's the line for me screwing up? I would never ever get $11 no matter how good I did. I found out later he had to pay an old graphic designer 3 times normal pay to come in and help. Honestly, I have almost nothing to say about this boss besides the dude is a mess. You might as well have just pulled somebody off the street, sat them down in front of your computer and said, "You're my employee now." Would have done as much good as hiring whoever they did that has no idea how to do any step of that job. Also, I find it absolutely amazing that they found the one guy in the world that has heard of Illustrator but has no idea what Photoshop is. Even if you don't know how to use Photoshop yourself, it's become so commonplace nowadays to say, "Oh, that's Photoshopped. Oh, that's not a real image, that was Photoshopped. Oh, they don't actually look like that, they Photoshopped themselves." Like you at least kind of know what you can do with it. Our next story is from Renticle. Stop wasting time and follow the job order. Quick one, but it's a textbook case. Yesterday, I got an email from a customer who wanted an in-depth analysis of dish soap sales for the past 3 years. Easy peasy, it's all automated, but time consuming to extract that much data. As I was entering the details into the software according to the job order, I see the customer specified product code A190. I check the database and, that's the code for scented candles. I think they meant A160 dish soap. Due to past shenanigans, we're supposed to follow job orders to the letter, and if there's a conflict, the product code trumps over whatever else the customer wrote. This is all spelled out very clearly in our service agreement. However, if I suspect a mistake, I will give the customer a call so they can amend the job order and avoid wasting time and money. They're usually grateful for the heads up. So I call the customer and I barely manage to say I'm from company XYZ that this lady starts berating me about how long the job is taking. First off, I got the timestamped email less than 15 minutes ago, and this kind of report usually has a turnaround of 24 to 48 hours. Second, I'm trying to help by pointing out the wrong product code, but this lady will just not let me talk. She keeps cutting me off and talking over me. When I finally manage to get 2 words in and say that I wanted to confirm the product code, she tells me to stop wasting her time and just do what the job order says. Then she hangs up on me. You can probably guess how it went. I ran the request as written for product A190, candles, sent it yesterday by end of business. The lady flipped when she saw it. Apparently they needed this report for a meeting that now has to be rescheduled. My boss and her boss got involved. The end result is that the customer's boss just sent me a request to please run a report for dish soap, A160, when convenient, and apologizing for the misunderstanding. My company will waive the cost of the extra report. I understand the lady was moved to a role that limits the amount of damage she can do. Already the fact that she ordered the report the literal day before the meeting was not great. Moral of the story, before telling someone to shut up, maybe listen to what they're saying. Unless you're in all-out war, I think I maintain that you are really doing yourself a major disservice by not hearing anybody out when they're trying to tell you something. At least hear the person out. I think it's kind of hilarious that this person would even suggest that OP was calling them up just to try to waste their time or be dumb. And our final story of the day is from She Likes Llamas, wasting executives' time. I worked at company A tech company, for 10 years. It's toxic. Toxicity aside, I climbed the corporate ladder and hold 4 high-level positions. Toxicity has gotten worse recently to the point where it became a personal attack on me. I informed the CEO that I would be resigning by the end of the day. When a friend of mine from the company called, I changed my resignation to a grievance letter. My formal grievance letter went unanswered for a month. During this time, I applied for jobs. Out of the blue, an executive, Sam, took over one of my 2 departments. Since I created this department years ago, I've run it. Sam lacks experience in this field. HR was notified because of possible retaliation. Sam immediately began making ill-informed changes and demands, most of which I openly rejected. HR intervened, so I conceded to his processes. Sam asked me to redo 2 departments worth of procurement paperwork 2 days into his new position. Because of Sam's new policy, everything in the department had to be approved by him, and there was not enough data to complete the task. In reply to my lack of data issue, Sam said to contact Kelly. I'd already done so and informed him. He repeated, talk to Kelly. I refused to continue this nonsense. The answer to this is malicious compliance. We use ClickUp. As soon as a task is created, I set up the system to automatically require Sam's approval. As a result, he was assigned to every task. So, he would be notified whenever a task was added, modified, edited, moved, or commented on. The team shouldn't work on tasks and then get his approval, since he might not approve the task, resulting in wasted time. Then, I worked overtime to enter about half of the unreasonable tasks, incomplete information and all. A hellish inbox with 80 emails and even more notifications awaited him. The next morning, I found that all the tasks had been reassigned to me without approval. I explained to my new boss that accounting couldn't pay bills without his approval and reassigned them back to him. He simply marked them completed. They weren't approved and certainly not completed. I moved the tasks to in progress and mentioned he should be mindful since completed indicates that nothing more needs to be done. Another executive asked me why his invoice hadn't been paid and why his ClickUp task was ping-ponging. I explained Sam refused to approve the invoice, so I couldn't proceed with the process. 4 invoices went unpaid after Sam refused to approve them. My CEO shouted at me. I should have gone over Sam and pushed them through. I said it's not fair to expect me to go over Sam as head of the department. Sam's new position led to this twice. Unpaid invoices nearly shut down 2 departments. Sam politely requested I stop assigning him tasks after 5 days. Having implemented the policy and having HR enforce it, he couldn't handle all the work it created. In addition to Sam being unable to handle a portion of my job, he was arguing over the requirements he put in place. And he was creating policies when he didn't understand the process. It showed that no one really understood how any programs or processes worked. Sam didn't attend the CEO's meeting to resolve the issue. The CEO advised me to continue running the department. There was a new process revealed to everyone during a leadership meeting the next day. I learned about it during the same time as everyone else. The leadership team in HR still need to discuss all process issues. Despite the bottlenecks, it seems that the changes will stick because I'm blamed despite following their process. As it stands, I still run my department now. While Sam's deadline was unrealistic and the process was a bottleneck, HR knows I went out of my way to make his job difficult despite simply following his process. She disapproves, though she hasn't reprimanded me. The highlight: ClickUp continues to assign Sam tasks even after I've disabled the automation. Honestly, if they're gonna keep treating you like this, I say double down, triple down. You don't have to get hostile and aggressive to try and prove that you deserve autonomy in this, but you can darn sure be annoying until either they fire you, or you sway things towards your way, or you eventually just get sick of it and leave the toxic workplace. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. Now, if you want to hear another absolutely crazy malicious compliance story, click on that video on the left, or if you missed my latest video, check out the one on the right. That said, I'll see you all next time with some more stories.